Goose.
Goose.
Yes. But right before Goose walks in during the commercial break, Mark goes, "Hey, we can talk about it on the air if you want, but I'm friends with Jerry Seinfeld now." And I was like, "What?"
You did mention that.
Anthony Edwards is coming in. I got to talk to Anthony Edwards. I want to hear about your relationship with Jerry Seinfeld. Is Joe List now jealous because it was...
That's true. Is this ruining your friendship?
Yeah.
A little.
I mean, how do you measure up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I got Louis as my friend. I can't compete with this.
I can't talk about it.
You lose with that deal.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld's still allowed to do comedy and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a happenstance. Bennington 6 months ago was like, I talked to Jerry, he's a fan of yours, he caught you on the Tonight Show, and I was like, all right, blow me, you're old, you're overweight, you're a has-been.
Why'd you get mad at Ron?
Why'd you get mad at Ron for giving you good news?
I thought he was fucking with me. It's one
That's
of
still an
those...
overreaction.
It is.
With the two glasses.
Yeah.
Just putting out his flaws.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jerry likes you. Yeah, hope you get mouth cancer from those cigars. That's kind of nice.
It's also real.
Our dear friend Ron.
That's not his real daughter. But, no, I didn't buy it. It's one of those things where you want it to be true so bad. You're like, what, are you fucking with me? You give me shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't believe it. And then I went to Gotham. I run in. They're like, slow down. Seinfeld's on. You're going to be waiting a while. So you're like, ah, damn. So Seinfeld comes off, and I'm going on next. I got to follow him. And I go, hey, big fan. Or no, I go, hey, still got it.
It's probably good for him to hear. He's probably worried about that.
Is that true, by the way?
What?
Does he still have it?
He killed. He's got some new stuff.
All right.
By the way, this is what Mark was saying. Hi, is what Ron said true? It's me. It's me. Is what Ron said true?
That's what my face was saying. Yes.
Hey, you still got it. And I know. I'm Mark Norman
Hi,
from
Mark
The Tonight
Norman
Show.
from Jimmy Fallon's program.
Yeah. So I go, hey, you still got it? And he goes, oh, hey, I'm a fan. And I go, what? Oh, my God. And he's like, yeah. And he shook my hand, which meant a lot to me because I know he's a germaphobe. He doesn't shake anybody's hand. He hates shaking. We know that.
Yes.
He's the opposite of Michael J. Fox. So
I don't think Michael J. Fox enjoys the shaking.
That's true. It's not a choice he's
I think
making.
you're misunderstanding.
Muhammad Ali.
He hates it more than anyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Ali
was
loved
voluntary.
it.
He was dancing a lot.
Yeah, you flipped it.
Yes. So I go, wow. So now I'm like reeling. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, he talked to me. Second of all, he shook my hand. And third of all, he said, big fan. I got the trifecta.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up there and I assume he's just going to get in his Porsche and get out of there. So I go up there and I'm zinging and zanging because I'm so confident. I got the Seinfeld compliment.
Are you on a comedian high? Because I mean, audiences can do what audiences are going to do, but when Seinfeld goes to you and he says, I'm a fan, and you know that this guy wouldn't do that if he didn't think that.
Yes.
He would just ignore you.
Exactly.
Are you kind of in this position where you guys don't even matter? If Seinfeld thinks I'm funny, I'm funny. That's
Completely.
it.
And I remember as I was walking on, some guy goes, Jerry, can I get a photo? And he goes, I'm okay. And I remember like, yeah, that's Jerry,
Jerry
baby.
said, I'm okay?
He goes, I'm okay.
And you're like, that's my guy.
That's my guy.
That Jerry would take one with me if I asked.
Yeah, maybe. So I go on, and it was a JP Morgan thing. So they were like, be clean, it's a company, whatever. And those are never fun. So you're like, I'm just going to do my clean stuff and, fuck
I
around.
love that, somehow your connection is validated by the fact that somebody else wanted to have a connection and they couldn't have
And it failed miserably.
So the fact that connection didn't happen means that yours is now even more valuable.
The fact that he said, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. Got him.
I mean, it lets you know that Kesha moment was so real.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right. He didn't want to hug Kesha.
Can I have a hug? No, I'm okay.
was
No.
great.
He doesn't want to be touched.
He does.
I imagine he says that to homeless people also.
Yeah.
He's like, get spare chance. Nah, I'm all right. I'm good.
I'm all set.
Thank you for offering.
But he's honest about not wanting to be touched. It's
Right.
fine.
He's being polite about it. That's
Yeah.
fine, thanks.
Yeah.
I love it. So I go on, I have a great set because I'm just booming with confidence, and I get off stage, and I go, well, that was fun. Now on to I had like 3 other shows that night, so I'm kind of in that mode of like, get to my show, schedule, what train am I taking? And he pops out of the shadows and goes, that was great. Let's go talk. And I was like, I'm blanking. I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you couldn't go because you had other sets.
Right.
Well, so we go down to the green room, and for you keep slipping out of. Neil Brennan had a great quote. He said, "Hanging out with famous people is like driving next to a cop. You're like, is this how I am? Am I normal now? Is this what I'm like all
What
the
a
time?"
great fucking
Totally.
quote.
Great analogy.
Totally.
Yeah, so you're doing that the whole time, and you kind of slip in and out of normalness and then freaking out.
That's a fucking excellent quote. It's like
Great
driving
quote.
us to a cop.
Did you are you texting the other
Because you don't want to go too fast, right? Is that what he means?
You want to use your blinkers.
I think you missed it. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Are you texting the other clubs and being like, I'm not going to make it to the
Don't
session?
show up.
Or are you just
No,
showing?
I don't even want to pull my phone out to be rude.
Right.
I want to give him all the attention.
And
Right.
you know you can't say, I'll text other clubs, because he would go, no, go do your spot.
Yes.
And Jerry would have said, go do your spots.
Exactly.
And
You
then
have
you
to
would have blown it.
Right.
You have to stay in this moment for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, no matter what's
Completely,
going
right.
on. Hey, look, my girlfriend's having cancer treatments. I got to go. You fuck her.
What are you kidding? That's
yeah.
over. Yeah. So,
Is that true?
Is it over?
yeah, it's over.
Is that because you found out that somebody that she knew robbed your apartment?
No,
Did she set the whole thing up?
no, she had cancer. I didn't want to deal with it. No, we're doing fine. So he goes,
You think so, Jim?
No.
I don't think so either.
Of course I don't.
so he goes, and this was an interesting moment. He goes,
That big heavy bag has been dropping off chins in every fucking third-rate market in the country.
Oh, yeah.
easy, big fella. So we're going down the
You
stairs.
think he's living a bachelor lifestyle?
Absolutely.
I do, too.
All right.
I do, too. We'll ask
What are
you
we
about that
doing?
after we do Seinfeld.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Trying to get back to the show here. So,
So what happened? You threw $1 down and...
so he goes, how about that set or something like that? Because I had a good set. And how about the fact that it was a JP Morgan thing, so I had to be clean.
Yeah.
I could have pulled out my pedophilia chunk.
Yeah.
But because it happened to be, it
Sure.
all locked in. The stars aligned.
And it's pretty great that he wanted to talk about your set.
Yeah, well, that
Right?
helps. That's very nice.
Yeah.
So he goes, I go, and you hate your act. And I go, I got too many comparisons. And he starts laughing and he goes, I have too many lists. And I was like, wow.
And you only have one.
There it is.
That's why I got the radio show.
Talking about
Cute.
Joe List.
That was
Yep.
big.
Yes.
Good
I
stuff.
see.
That was, you
I
nailed
see.
it, dude.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
You thought the same, didn't you? But you didn't. You thought not to say.
He had what you call integrity.
So so I was like, oh my god, he's laughing about we're talking comedy. And so the first 10 minutes were just me shitting myself and trying not to be a douche. And then after that, it just all melted away. We talked about everything. We covered everything under the sun. And it was great. It was a beautiful moment. And just this guy's voice, like me and Joe, all we do is quote the show. The show changed our lives. We're obsessed with it, the whole thing. And I used to watch it with my parents and must-see TV, the whole thing. And it's just this guy, the voice is talking to me. It's crazy. The sun was setting.
All you should have done the whole conversation is badmouth Helen Hunt and say how bad about you ruined must-see TV.
Tell me why I love you like I do.
So did you have to stop yourself from making references to the show, or did you have your wits about you enough that you wouldn't have done that?
I geeked out a little bit every now and then, just a little bit would
What did you do?
pre-cum would come out.
Like, what did you?
At one point, he's like, "So do you know?" He's going off about the '80s, and he's like, "To Catch a Rising Star." You probably don't know it's this club that used to be. I'm like, probably don't know it. I've read every book about New York comedy. I know all. Of course, I know it. And then he's like, "Well, my dad said." I was like, "Oh, you mean Cal?" And he goes, "You know my dad's name?" And I'm like, I know everything about him. I've read his biographies. I've seen every.
That's a weird thing about meeting celebrities because they'll start telling you a story and you're like, yeah, no, I know.
You're a
Yeah.
celebrity.
that.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you
Like I got to meet Paul McCartney one time. He's like, with we're from Liverpool. I'm like, yeah. I know all your
Yeah, he's
stories.
boring actually in person.
Yeah, he sucks.
Same
Yeah.
dumb stories. And the worst for us we know.
But you have to.
Terrible songwriter too.
It goes back to what you were saying about staying in the moment. Like you have to react to it like it's a new story,
Right.
Because otherwise, you run the risk of him being like, "Oh, okay, well then I guess we don't need to talk at all."
Yeah.
If you had taken one later train, you wouldn't have formed the band. Like, I know that.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
known that story since I was 16.
Yeah, Mother
Right.
Mary. It's your mother. I got it.
Yeah.
I actually
Right.
didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, I've never heard either of those stories. Actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The train. What?
Yeah, so it was pretty incredible.
Now, is this a one-night stand, or has the relationship prospered?
Well, here's the clinker. At some point, we're hitting it off, and it was going so well that he goes, "Hey, get my number. And I was like, oh, my God.
When he
That's when
says-
it really hit home.
when he
Please
says
tell me
get-
you accidentally sent a dick photo.
Oh, God. Jesus.
When he says "get your number," how does that work?
Yeah, it makes it sound like he's like, Google my number. Someone find
Yeah.
it out somehow.
Right.
Why doesn't he say,
That's what
here's
would-
my number.
Right, that would worry me. Like, do I have to call representation to?
Right, well, I
because
guess
you could
I-
just give it to me.
Maybe I said it wrong, but he said, take my number,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, and he gave it to you.
Take
You got
my
to
number,
email
please.
Mario Joyner. He'll give you my number.
So I go, oh my God. And I go, I'm like kind of shaking while about putting it in, and I give him my number, and he texts me, and I go, I'll never use this. And he goes, use it. That was a fun moment.
Yeah.
Even though I won't. And so this is an hour and a half we're chatting, you know?
Where'd you go?
What do you mean?
You just stayed in the green room.
Oh, you stayed in the green room.
The whole time,
okay,
just face to face talking. And I'm not good with eye contact. I'm awkward.
You're
I'm gay.
autistic, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, luckily, Jerry is like super social, and he doesn't have any of those.
That's the thing. I don't want to get, because if he hears this, I'll kill myself. But that's the thing is,
I think you're safe.
I've heard.
Thanks, Joe.
Jerry sets the alarm at 7 a.m. every morning.
Joe is right, and it wouldn't be a loss if he wasn't.
So, where was I? Shit.
You're an hour and a half,
set,
eye contact.
Oh, the text.
You know, these horror stories about Jerry, like he's a cunt,
Yes.
he's so mean, he's cutting, he says this and that, Bobby Kelly, he took a shit on his porch, he hates this guy, hates that guy, Judah's gay or whatever. So you're like, oh man, he's gonna be so mean. And he was so sweet, so nice, so normal. He just felt like a Long Island guy, just like a dude.
Gross.
Easy laugher, you know, just nice, normal guy, and not pretentious or anything. And I was waiting for him to be mean to me and like say some shit, but it was sweet as pie.
He's not good at being. He seems like, and I don't know him well at all, but he doesn't seem like he's good at being fake. Like,
Right. Yes.
if he likes you, he's just a regular dude. And if he doesn't like you, he can't pretend that he's interested.
Yeah, I
Completely.
remember. I said that to. I was talking to Colin about him one time, and I was like, listen, talking about the. What do you call that? The commentary on comedian. I was like, he's so mean and like cutting to Orny. And then Colin was like, to be fair, he's like that to Steven Spielberg. He's like, that's who he is to everybody. So you're like, well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, the one thing I don't want to say too much.
It's very early in the morning.
He's not listening.
I did a thing where I tried a new joke in the middle of my set, and it kind of was dipped more than the rest of the jokes, the tried and true stuff. And I was like, all right, well, that didn't work. Now back to the act. And he was like, don't do the back to the act thing. That's weird. Don't take them out. Don't take yourself out of it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was just bombing, so I felt I had to say something.
He's probably right.
He's probably right.
Yeah,
that's not a big secret. I mean, that's this guy who's a great comic, just giving you a pointer on one little minor thing.
I know where Mark's coming from, though. He had this like life-changing conversation. You want the relationship to continue, and the last thing you need is Jerry going, oh, you just go on the air and you just talk about the whole conversation. Forget this. Yeah, I get it.
But he didn't say any. You're not revealing anything that he said that's embarrassing. You're just talking.
But here's the craziest part.
Oh no!
So he goes back on. He's doing 2 sets, which is why I think he hung out.
Yeah, of course.
So
Let's be clear, he does not like you.
Yeah, you were something to do.
Exactly.
You don't think he was lost in conversation?
No, I don't. I think he knew he had another set he wanted to do, and he's like, all right, well, this guy's tolerable.
Yeah.
I'll take tolerable. I'll take it. So he leaves. He goes back up, does another set. So I was like, I'm gonna watch. I've already missed 7 sets. Fuck it. You know, my life.
What night of the week was this?
This is like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and I go back out and watch his set. And he had some great stuff, and he had one joke that was obviously new and not fleshed out yet. And I was like, oh, I'm going to think of some stuff for that.
Oh, no.
I know. So, he finishes, he leaves, and he's talking to Mazzilli on the sidewalk, the owner of Gotham. And I run by, because I got to get to my shows, and I go, hey, great talking to you, great to meet you. And I say it as I'm walking, and I go, I got an idea for that cemetery bit. And he goes, all right, yeah, take it easy. And, that was the end of it. And I'm clicking my heels. I'm on 7th Avenue going, oh, my God, this is crazy. I'm whistling Dixie. I'm kissing women, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I leave. The night I tell the girlfriend, I get home, we make love, the whole thing.
Break up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day, we're sitting in our underwear watching Seinfeld on Hulu. And I get a text from him. His name pops up. I show her. She's going, oh, my God, this is crazy. We're jumping up and down our underwear.
You're really overreacting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I get it. It's exciting. It's exciting.
He's texted me. And he goes, what do you got on the cemetery bit? That's the
Whoa!
text. Oh, and I had nothing. So I had to sit down and write something.
So you didn't have, when you said I got some ideas, you did not have
I had
ideas.
0. What are you kidding? I was fucking around. I was being folksy.
Right.
Yeah. So,
that's so goddamn funny.
So you went to work.
Yeah, so I sit out with a pen and pad. I kick her out of the apartment. I can't have any distractions.
So yeah, it's like, look, honey, we got to break up. I got to write this joke.
Yeah, was
That's fucking hilarious.
And I came up with something I thought was okay because the time is crunching here. You can't just wait a day. You got to give it
Yeah,
now.
because then he's going to realize you didn't have anything. You just wrote that just now.
So
But then that could be impressive, though. You seem like a guy that's not near his phone a lot.
That's true. You're not
You'd be like,
available.
yeah, I'm unavailable.
I'm
It's
busy.
amazing. This is no Neil Brennan quote, but it's amazing how similar when you want someone that you admire, you want to be friends with. It's similar to trying to fuck.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
It
I'll
is.
say something as I'm walking away, and then I'll
Yes.
hopefully
play it cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Play
that's what
it
I was just
cool.
thinking. Like with you being so public about your adoration for this man.
Adoration?
Adoration.
Adoration. It's
ad-
one word. You put
Isn't it-
adoration.
isn't
You
it
don't- there's no-
admiration?
There's no
No.
dashes in that word.
Adoration
I
is
don't
when
know
you
that
adore.
word.
Adoration is a
Oh.
word.
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
that word.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He doesn't admire Seinfeld. He adores
Aha.
Jerry
Maybe a little
Seinfeld.
both.
Adoration.
And yeah, sure.
Adoration,
There's
yeah.
admiration there as well.
I don't know what the tech is. It an adjective or whatever? But yes, there's adore and adoration.
This was
We'll get-
all worth the trip for me.
We'll get Michelle Pfeiffer in here to teach us all.
She will. And throw us candy bars.
Throw us candy bars when we get it right.
Hell yeah!
Wait, is that Dangerous Minds?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Really
But-
inspirational.
Yeah, that was the first. Was that the first black
No.
No.
classroom with a
It
white
was
teacher?
Lean on me. No,
Yeah.
that was reversed.
There
What was
a
the
bunch
one?
of those. Oh, yeah, it's Joe Brown. There was a bunch of the Joe Clark. There was a bunch of we were talking about this for an hour before.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
shit.
right. But,
Damn it.
but Roger
listen.
Ebert pointed out a bunch of movies before it that were better.
But
they had Coolio.
Exactly.
exactly. The question though is he aware? Because obviously, if you know his dad's name, you're not playing it cool. You know what I mean? You're being kind of public. You
Yeah.
also have that Seinfeld thing, I think, where you're not that good at not showing how you
Right,
feel.
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought that sentence was going to end.
With yeah, I know. I thought it was with comedy.
That's, I thought you're not that good.
So wait, you
Yeah. Not a fan of either of your
But he
stand-ups.
also
I gotta-
Jerry is also has the show is so big. He knows people are aware of him. Like he's not fake humble. Like gee, how do you, like
Yes,
he's probably
yes.
not that surprised. Yeah, you're aware of the show and you
Yeah,
know
but-
stuff I've done.
Right.
you
Like
know.
when you're trying to pick up the supermodel, aren't you supposed to be the one guy who's not impressed by her?
Not even being impressed, but being aware of something. And like, I don't think he's crazy freaked out if a young comic. I think as a guy like that, a young comic who you like if he's a fan back because he's a fan of yours too.
Yeah, well, I spun the whole thing as I'm just a huge comedy nerd because I was like, I know everything about Carlin,
Gotcha.
Pryor,
Sure.
Robert Klein.
Smart.
But he's so obsessed. He's so, like, I'm obsessed, but he's obsessed. He's like, Klein is my favorite. He's playing on Long Island next week. I would go if I wasn't working. I'm like, wow, you would actually go to see Robert Klein.
Yeah, yeah. Don't you like Robert Klein?
Not anymore.
Oh, he's great.
Come on.
Yeah,
Don't tell Jerry.
he's really great.
Did you tell
I think
Jerry?
he's a
You,
little out to lunch.
I mean, yeah, he's been around for. Do you ever see his old stuff, like from the fucking? He's still funny, but do you ever watch his old shit from like the
Tonight
80s?
Show?
No, from like Robert Klein live in Yale.
No.
That changed my life. That special. That's one of my
What?
favorites. Robert Klein at Yale. That Pryor live in concert, and maybe Carlin, You're All Disease. I think
Yeah.
are my three favorite
Whoa,
stand-up specials.
I didn't know. Maybe I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, Robert Klein at Yale.
All right.
did you tell Jerry that you think that Robert Klein's a little out to lunch these days?
No, I was like, maybe I'll go. Because I thought he might be going, So we chatted up. We do this whole who's better, Carlin or Pryor thing. The whole thing, we text for an hour. I can show you the thread. It just keeps going. I'm sending him YouTube clips.
He wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
He loved it.
No, he wouldn't
wouldn't
want
like
you
you
to show
showing
us
it.
all the
Oh,
text.
no.
Like, why would you show us the thread?
We'll put him on Twitter.
Yeah.
And we just went back and forth, and I showed him a photo. I have a photo on my wall of me and Carlin, like, arm in arm. And I was like, how about this? He goes, that's wonderful. That's what he said. So he's like, you're just as obsessed as I am. And I think it made him feel better.
Right. Now, are you actively trying to figure out ways to further this relationship?
Yes.
Or you are?
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? So obviously I've taken time off my act and just been working on the cemetery bit full time. And I sent him a few things, and one was, you could tell he was like, ugh. He was
Which
nice
one?
about it.
Well,
I get it's too much to break down.
Okay.
But we're in this cemetery bubble of material. So I just wrote this one thing, and he was like, yeah, it's something. And that was soul crushing. And then it caused me to double down. I'm like the guy in the basement with the girlfriend's like, come upstairs. I'm like, shut up, slam the door, close it. And I came up with something. He's like, this is very good. So that was
Nice.
you. I did like a big air punch in my apartment alone when I got
What
that
did you
one.
say? Something clever at the end? Like, it's a grave situation.
That's really good.
That's not bad.
That's very clever.
So he goes, we should get lunch and hash all this out.
Oh my God!
I know, but that was weeks ago. And so I'm telling, List about it on my podcast. I got all these messages that Jerry's story was inspiring, that was unbelievable, and we never got the lunch. But I was picturing we're going horseback riding, and
He's
we're
busy,
holding.
too.
He's a busy guy, yeah.
So how are you gonna? But how do you reach back out and maybe remind him of the lunch thing? Have you been thinking? You've been thinking about it.
I've been using the cemetery, but it's fizzling out now.
Oh,
Again
yeah,
with the cemetery?
Yeah, exactly.
Still hashing this out?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to throw a reel out there. I'm trying to get something going.
He fucking shoots a Netflix special. He's done, but I can fix the bit. He's like, I filmed it. It's done. Let's go.
It feels like a woman when you see a movie and you keep
Yes.
referencing the one movie you saw. You're like, scent of a woman, remember?
Yeah, your inside joke that she's like, okay, we've really, it's the well is run dry on
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
I went with scent of a woman, by the way.
That's okay. That's a great. I just saw it recently. Holds up.
Yeah?
Batman. Oh God, he's right.
Wasn't that the first movie where Pacino started doing screaming?
No,
Pacino?
that was Sea of Love, I think.
Oh.
If I remember right, Sea of Love was the first one that I noticed because that was like '83, I think.
Okay.
With the voice changed.
I see.
Or no, maybe it was a little later than that, but I think it was Sea of Love.
Hooah! So I at one point, this is very unlike me, but I got just a fire up my ass, and I was just fuck it, and I just wrote, "Hey Jer." I don't know where this came from.
You said, "Hey, Jer."
Yeah, I said, "Hey Jer, I'm jonesing for that hang. Let's talk some shop." I don't know where it came from. It came out of the
Good for
depths
you.
of my asshole.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You wanted to make it happen.
And I was in the Buffalo airport. I remember I just pushed send. I was alone. I was on the road.
Good for you.
Sad. And I go, fuck it. Who is he? Who am I? Fuck it. We're
You're
all
friends.
people.
You're friends
Yeah.
now.
I think that's actually smart because
Yeah.
he said, let's hang, take my
Yes.
number, I want to hang.
That's fine.
You got to be yourself.
But hey, Jer, I'm jonesing for that hang.
yeah, Joneson's tough.
Troy.
That's bad.
Jones was good.
No, Joneson's no good.
Yeah.
It's insensitive towards heroin addicts, I feel like. That's the main
Yeah,
problem.
That's a good point.
I would
Yeah.
never want to get a text from a comic that said I'm jonesing for that hang.
No.
Now that
No?
you say it out of your mouth.
It's.
Damn.
So what did he respond with?
He goes, he wrote something back. He wrote back like in 10 minutes. Which
Okay.
was pretty good. He wrote back like, oh yeah, okay, let's do it. I'll set something up.
There you go.
Ooh.
And then nothing.
You gotta let it go. You should.
I'll let it go.
Write something else too. Like, man, I'm standing here. I feel like Elaine dancing.
It's hard.
How
Just
long
send
ago
him
was
Kramer
that?
gifts.
How long ago was
That
that?
was 3 weeks.
Oh, boy.
Was it 3 weeks ago?
yeah.
That's not bad, though. 3 weeks is nothing.
We still have a chain of quite a lot of texts.
That's
like,
fine.
I feel like
Okay.
this is how sad and fucked up I am. Colin Quinn got married.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He was there. Jerry
Yeah.
was there.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. There was a table next to me.
No, no.
I had a
wasn't
table
at
next
that
to
game.
all of
Next
us.
to
The
us.
three of us were all
Please.
there.
I thought about doing the Elaine thing because he was on the dance floor for a minute. I thought it'd be fun to get in front of him and do the Elaine
He would have
dance.
loved it. He went
He would've-
crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he would have been jonesing for a hang after that.
He would have gone like this. Mark, who? I've been hanging out with the wrong Tuesday.
Yeah, the wrong storyteller.
But I remember thinking, like, if I go to that wedding, I wasn't invited. But if I go to the wedding, I could see
three
him,
of us
and,
were
and
there.
it wouldn't be weird. That's
Yeah.
where I was. So that's a pretty good place to be at. Like, I would be excited to talk to him, but I could just go, "Oh, hey, Jerry," and you go, "Hey, Mark," and we talk.
That makes sense. That's why the last week when you were in here off the air and you said, "Was Jerry at the wedding?" and I went, "Yes." You were like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And Mark does that thing where both arms go up like opposite robot. Like, ah!
I got rock'em sock'em.
Yeah, like
My
a
neck
freeze
goes up.
frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but here's the hardest part about knowing a celebrity too. Like when you know a celebrity or you have a bond with them, is letting it go. It's really hard to let it go because you have to remember everybody who interacts with them responds the same way.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
on our level? You know what I mean? So you just got to let it go and then realize you'll reconnect. Because how many friends do you have that you don't see for weeks, but you don't think about it? Because then
Sure.
guys you look up like you know you and I can go with fucking 3 weeks without seeing each other. And I see the seller with Colin or. It's not a big deal. So
No.
that's how it is with them too.
Right.
You just got to let it go and let the relationship fade if it has to fade, and it will always
It'll come back.
Yeah, you'll see them
come
again.
If it's meant to be, let it go. And if it flies back to you, it was meant to be.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Adoration.
Neil Brennan quote.
No, that was Kevin.
Oh, right.
You're confusing the
Yeah,
Brennan.
fuck him! What the fuck is he doing? doing?
Norton's on again?
Yeah, you fucking tell a story on fucking Wednesday.
But here, all right, you want to get real deep and gross and
I do.
sad.
Oh,
I
boy.
do.
Well, go ahead,
I
Mark.
shouldn't say this out loud, but I was so into us being close and friendly because I was picturing us, really on a paddle boat in Central Park. The whole
Why?
thing.
It got to the place where you were like, Colin would be like, "Hey Jerry, we don't hang out anymore. All you do is hang out with Mark Norman all the time."
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
of course. I picture us like doing stuff together.
Tom Papa and Colin Quinn are just
Yeah.
sitting next to each other, going like, "Oh, he never calls us anymore. All he ever does is hang out with Norman."
Yeah, like Jerry would be Huck Finn, and you know who you would be.
Well, I'm just Jim. They took out the N word.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so sorry.
A little on the nose.
Jerry made the same joke. So I started getting into Porsches because I know he
No.
likes them. So I started Googling. I've been YouTubing
But you can't
Porsches.
You can't afford a Porsche.
I know, but I thought about buying one and then going,
my-
"Hey,
Who are
Jerry."
you fucking? Who are you, Scotty from Boogie Nights? I was going to bring it back if you didn't like it, Jerry. Jerry, do you want to kiss me on the mouth?
Scotty.
Can I show you? Can I show you my car?
I'm gonna try to kiss him.
He's just Mark is just sitting there watching Jerry do his set, going,
Oh, that's
Blow my brains
"It
out.
really is." He is Scotty. Mark Norman might as well be walking around in short shorts with a tank top that won't cover his belly.
Oh my God, Jerry's gonna be doing meth and he's gonna be standing there trying to fix him. No.
Yeah. So I thought this is how sad it's gotten. The bowels of it, the depths of my insecurity. I started getting into Porsche, and I thought if I buy one,
Yeah.
maybe I can say, "Hey, do you mind if I keep this in your garage?" Because he's
Oh,
got a
that's
garage.
That's not invasive at all. He doesn't want to have lunch with you, and you think he wants your fucking Porsche in his garage?
When was this Gotham thing? When did that happen?
About a month ago.
So over the course of 30 days,
Yeah.
you think you're sharing a garage now and buying a car?
Well, if I go, "Hey, I like Porsches," I say it casually. He'll go,
Right.
"This guy's obsessed with comedy and Porsche, my two favorite things."
Yeah, but why would you want to buy a Porsche? He has a bunch of old ones. What do you think? Some guy with a fucking new low-level Porsche is going to impress him?
Don't
no,
you think?
it's not about
That's not why he
impressing.
likes you.
Don't you think Jerry would look at you and go like, "He obviously is not in Porsche world yet. He's just
money-wise.
Yeah, he's just doing this."
He likes you as
Right.
a comic, not as a fucking financial entity.
But
He
that
doesn't
would
give a
push
shit if you
us
drive a
in-
Porsche.
That would push us into actual friendship.
No,
I
it wouldn't.
I love
push
it. Like, it's like I know what your interests are because I also watch comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, but it's not like you've done any deep.
Yeah.
I
research.
understand,
That's the
though.
thing that everybody.
Because when I met Louis, I started jerking off in front of everybody. I was like, I gotta get in.
Yeah, so that was that. But I'm just saying that's how low.
Do you think you're going to buy the Porsche?
I can't afford a
That's
Porsche.
awful. Don't even. I mean, dude, it's so crazy. That's not what he likes about you.
I realize it. I'm just
That's so
let
funny.
you in.
But we all have moments,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Like
your
those,
moment.
like
That's
Jim,
awful.
you got when you started to connect with Ozzie. I'm sure that you had you're trying to
Yes.
figure out how to change. Now it's a little more comfortable. And now it's not even very
He still
comfortable.
doesn't really respond to my texts.
You're nibbling on a bat. Hey, I didn't hear you come in. What are you doing here? Also, I think the no Porsche is good because then you're like, I don't know anything about Porsches. Then he can tell you about Porsches.
Hey, I'm
That's
thinking
even
about buying a
better.
Porsche.
Yes.
Could
Right.
you which ones do you like?
Now you go, what's with the Porsches? I think it's good to disagree because then they see that you're your own person.
Right.
Well, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But it's so funny how people think, like, I have a Porsche, park it in your garage. What an obnoxious thing to ask.
Well, the garages are so expensive in New York.
I understand.
Right. Maybe since we've been friends for the last month.
Yeah, since we talked comedy a couple times, and we both agree that Robert Klein's a comedian. Can I borrow your shit and park my car?
Yeah.
But don't
hey,
you think-
we all know, all of us Porsche owners, we all know how expensive garages are.
But don't you think if I go, I got this Porsche, I got nowhere to park it, I'm getting drained on these garages. Don't you think you'd go, oh, I got a garage?
No, I think he would realize I can't. This person's mentally ill.
Ah.
You know what would help you? He'd probably say, you know what would help you have a little bit more money for the garage is if you didn't have all those Porsche payments to make.
Right.
You know?
right.
People who can
almost
afford a
bought-
Porsche can usually also afford the parking space.
Even if
Right.
you are good friends, okay. Even if you do become good friends, it doesn't. It's still. It's just. he's a comic you hang out with. It's not going to make your life different. Like, I know what you mean. I've been obsessed in my life, but it's like when it doesn't change like you think it's going to change. But you just know the person better, and you walk away and go, "Wow, it was a nice conversation." But you'll have those anyway.
You didn't have any of those moments in the beginning when you first got Ozzie's number.
Of course you had moments.
Of course I did. That's what of course I understand it, but I always knew not to be fucking. Because I met him differently. It was through interviews and stuff. It was a different way of meeting. So there was always a reason to be there.
I
didn't have his number at first. Sharon gave me his number.
Wow.
I'm like, I want to ask him
you
something.
Never had the moment where he.
Well, no, I said to her I wanted to ask him something, and she said, "Oh, just text him." And I'm like, "But I don't have his number." She goes, "Here." And I'm like, "Nah, I'd rather get it from him." She goes, "Just text him." And she fucking snapped at me, and I texted him.
And what was the question? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
Do you remember if he got back to you?
No, I think the first text I sent him.
I got some on that cemetery song. He would have a song about cemetery.
I forget what I sent him, but there was one time I sent him a picture of me and Sharon. Cause he was in another room while I was interviewing her. And I didn't talk to him, and then he got back to me like a day later.
Hey!
But he didn't have his phone with him, that's why.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yep.
But I saw him that day. And he goes, "Oh my God," and Sharon goes, "He loved you special."
Wow.
He won't stop talking. He goes, "That fucking thing." And then he invited me to his house.
What?
Yeah.
You got a house invite?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Would you be okay? What if Jerry was like, "Why don't you come over sometime?"
What, are you kidding? I'd be through the moon.
You would.
Through the roof. Through
the moon.
I'd be through. You are
so giddy.
What a fucking swooning fairy.
I can't even think straight. I'm such a fan.
Does your girlfriend go like, I've never had this type of energy? Like
from me?
From you.
Yeah.
I'd be through the moon. Jones is for that hang. Psychopath.
Jonesing for that hang. Hey, remember you did say we were going to hang out if we could.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I got a Porsche on a flatbed. It's on the way here.
Yeah, maybe he can sign a starter cap for you, and then you can lock your girlfriend in the trunk and drive off a bridge.
Are you saying that Mark Norman is quite literally standing for Jerry Seinfeld?
You think I should show up at his house with the DVD set?
Could you sign my copy of Comedian real quick? And, all right, let's go get lunch.
Couldn't be any worse than wanting to park in his garage. That's really invasive.
But you know when you like a girl and you're like, "Oh, she's from Boston. I'll learn a bunch of Boston shit."
No, I mean, but I have done things that were out of character. Just I get it. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've all been there. You get this number, this connection that you never think is going to get made.
Yeah.
And then, I've sat there and looked at phone numbers that I'm like, I shouldn't. Should I?
Oh, yeah.
Should I pursue? No, I should leave it alone.
Right.
You know?
Of
But you
course.
got to leave it alone.
Sometimes,
you got to be cool.
You got to be cool, but it's hard to be cool. This is an American icon. This isn't Jim Gaffigan, who, I love Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I have his number too, but Jim Gaffigan's a great comic. This
Gaffigan
is
probably sells as many tickets, if not more.
Yeah.
No, is that true?
Or he's a fucking. He's quietly
huge.
one of the biggest draws in the country.
Wow.
Huge.
But Seinfeld is
But
Seinfeld.
Jim is accessible because he's your friend.
Yeah.
Well, so when a guy's
Seinfeld's an icon.
Seinfeld's an icon. Yeah, when a guy's your friend, but he is just a comic. Like with comics, it's always a little easier because
Totally.
it's like they get it, and you don't have to bond on something. You both understand that sometimes the audience are cunts. There's the little things that you get.
Yes. Seinfeld once said, "You meet a comic, you immediately have 10,000 things in common."
Yeah.
Did you bring that up to him?
No.
You know what you once said, Jerry? I don't know if you can remember this quote.
Jerry, 10,001. Both like Porsches.
If I'm in the garage. That would be 10,000.
Paul in New Jersey is a great question.
Yeah, I was about to...
Oh, no.
No, but yeah, Paul is actually pretty smart, and Mark, this will help. Paul?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's up,
Hey,
bud?
buddy.
Hey, Mark, in order to really get yourself in with Joey, why don't you ask him to co-sign for your Porsche?
That's actually pretty smart.
Ask him to
Oh, that's
co-sign.
not bad. I'll ask for money. Good idea.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
I'm still laughing at you'll be nibbling on a bat.
A lot of people don't realize how good this is, Oz. By the way, I've been eating this since before. It's had nothing to do with...
Yeah.
April in Virginia. What's up, April?
Yeah, if he calls the car a Porsche to Jerry, he's going to get laughed out of the
That's a good point.
off of friendship
That's a
because
good
it's
point.
Porsche.
Porsche.
You're right.
Porsche.
She's right.
Yeah. April's correct.
Oh, I see.
It's a good note.
Yes, you have to sound like you're on the inside.
Right.
How about Tim on Long Island?
Mark, listen, this is crucial. Dump the girlfriend because Colin just got married. Jerry needs a new best friend.
Aha.
These phones sound weird. But by the way,
That's
Jerry,
not bad.
Jerry is also married, so now I hate to break it to you, he loves Colin. They're going to be even closer because they're both married.
Right.
And they got the wives,
Does Jerry like doing married guy stuff, or does he like...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
just
then
the
you're
idea
screwed.
that he's, Colin is his married friend now. And
Now, have you thought about in the relation... Are you in your relationship now or no?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Have you thought about, okay, I need to stay in this or I need to not be in this based on the Jerry relationship? Does it prosper further if I have a +1? Is this going to be a double date scenario, or is this going to be a single guy who's there for you scenario?
I think double date is big.
Yes.
That's good.
Because that's real life.
yeah, but now
that's
you
not
have your
escape.
girlfriend has to be on her best behavior too, though. So do you need that? Like everything she says, you're like, ugh.
Oh, I'll coach her up. But don't think I haven't thought about this. I think she would get along with Jess Seinfeld. They have a lot in common. And we've actually reviewed this and had mock conversations in case she meets her.
No, you
Scary.
haven't.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you mean mock conversation?
I pretend to be Jess, and I go, all right, what would you say if I said this and that? Telling you, this has gone deep.
It's really, really scary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have pillows with a little Jerry head on it and a little Jess head on another pillow.
You think there have been real fake Mrs. Seinfeld, Mrs. Norman conversations? I do too.
It's literally, it's like the fucking coaching. You ever see the Phil Spector movie when they're coaching him how to talk? When a lawyer coaches you how to answer certain questions.
Speaking of Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Joe, you looked absolutely terrified when Mark just said that just now.
Yeah, that's no good. You can't do that. But I think that would be good. I think a double date would be good.
Yeah.
Because your girlfriend's very personable.
She's personable, and she's not blown away by celebs, which is a nice little
So
quality.
how did she feel about the fact that you are trying to pursue this relationship where you are coaching her?
She's cool. She gets it.
She does.
She wants to win, too. She wants to have a good game.
She's got the spirit of a champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But things like that never work. It sounds so stupid in court, and we've all believe me, we've all fucked up. I blew a chat with Alan Alda.
Is that right?
We've all made asses of ourselves.
How did you blow it with Alan Alda?
I put in my second. It's embarrassing. I was just whatever. Louis introduced me to him actually at a movie premiere, and I was just talking to him at the bar, and I loved Alan Alda so much. I had been trying to meet him.
MASH or
and
what are we talking?
I had a picture. with Alan Alda, and I brought it.
Oh! Wow! What are you giving me shit for? I would never do that.
I know,
That's awesome.
but I love Alan Alda.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite
Now, are we
people.
talking 8x10 wallet size?
8x10.
Okay.
So Louis
Wallet size.
Ozzie and Alan Alda, you got a lot of range.
Yeah, I really am a creep. But anyway, so Louis brings me. We're going to go to this movie premiere, and on the way, it was an independent film he did with Alan Alda. And Louis said, "Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he goes, "Yeah, I'll introduce you." But then we're going, and he goes, "I don't think he's going to be there." So I had this fucking picture I was going to get Alan Alda to sign of me and him. Douchiest move. I know.
Your friend is introducing you to
I know. 2008, maybe humiliating story.
Wow.
So I go, and we wind up going to dinner instead because Alan Alda's not going to show. But then Louis goes, "Hey, I heard he's actually going to be there." So we go.
Are you holding it physically, or do you have a bag?
It's in something. I mean, I'm not that fucked up.
Does Louis know that you're bringing it?
No, Louis doesn't. But he introduces me to Alan Alda, and we talk for a while, and we're actually having a real conversation. I'm just talking about how influential MASH was, and the language that they got away with, and the subject matter, and the comedy, and blah blah. And he was really engaged.
Yeah,
he was. But then there was that one moment, and I don't even remember what it was, but I said something a little too passionately, and I could see that he realized, oh,
yeah.
He's a fan. Like, he knows you're a fan, but when you reveal that you're a fan,
right,
it turns them off.
Totally.
And so that was that blew it immediately. And then I saw he starts talking to somebody else. I forget how I asked him to sign the picture. I might have even asked him first, but he did sign it. Yeah.
But it could be as easy as going responding in the affirmative way too.
Yes.
Whoa,
right.
Whoa, we're not talking.
Yeah.
We're just having a conversation.
And it was a baby.
Oh my. Okay.
So here's the question: would you rather have this shitty, awkward moment and the signed pic, or a great night and no pic?
Well, I'd already taken the picture. So yeah, I would rather have a great night and then see the person again and not feel like I was a douche.
Right.
Right.
But
So
again,
you'd rather have the relationship than the autograph.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
What if it was not a relationship? You just had an evening where you spent some quality time together. You're never going to see him again.
Oh, then the signature. Because there's always something, like, you don't mean it in the moment, but a lot of times something really funny comes out of it, like when you realize what an asshole you were.
Yeah.
You're like, I was such a fucking stupid ass. You can at least make fun of it.
Yeah.
Jim's had a bunch of... I remember a Nicolas Cage story. Didn't you completely embarrass yourself in front of Nicolas Cage?
Just on a plane.
What did you do with Nick?
I sat next to him on a flight.
Here's what's great about Jim is that, like, for Mark, it's his idol and somebody that he's kind of had celebrity worship for forever. For Norton, it's just anyone who's ever been in a movie.
I was on a fucking New York to LA flight, and I was in first, and the seat next to me was open until right before the door closed, which a lot of times means it's a celebrity because they don't want people seeing them when they get on.
Right.
And so it's Nicolas Cage. He gets on, and he sits next to me, and it's it's him.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. And but I don't say anything until we're like taxiing down the runway, like almost 15 minutes later. I tried talking to him, and I'm like, how you doing, Nick? And he went, huh? And I was like, oh.
I can see that, huh? Too.
And I tried bringing up, like, I was talking to him on the flight, trying to, like,
You had a lighting question about your special.
question about my special.
Stop trying to be industry.
I
You gotta let
know.
them know you're in the business.
Exactly.
Like,
Nothing.
I'm not a fan. I'm a peer.
Nothing. And then when we landed in LA, I said nothing else to him after that. I was humiliated.
That's a long 6
Oh,
hours.
it was fucking terrible.
Hey, lucky we're not on Con Air. Am I right, Nick?
When so we landed, and then as we're taxiing to the gate, I'm like, can we take a picture together? And he goes, I'd rather not. And he goes, but I'll sign something for you.
Okay, you pull your
That's
tits
nice.
It's so humiliating. So I handed him the menu.
The menu.
I didn't have anything.
Hilarious.
I haven't got an autograph in a long time. on
Just so
nothing.
I can remember the day we were on the plane together. You know,
Yeah.
funny story about that menu.
And he signed it. It was nice flying with you, like literally, like I was a child. It was so disgusting.
Little wings on you.
It was so disgusting.
I'd rather not, he said.
All my fault.
Don't worry, I'll be gone in 60 seconds.
I got it.
One time I was on a flight and John Gruden, the football coach, was on there.
For who? Who's the coach?
He now he coaches the Raiders, I think. But he was like did Monday Night. He coaches the Bucks, and then he was on Monday Night Football. But he was in first class, and I knew I watched him get on first, and I had the Sports Illustrated. It was right after Junior Seau killed himself, and he was on the cover. And I didn't say anything to Gruden, but I kind of like held the Junior Seau like up here, facing out, like he might be like, oh. Junior Seau, I'm a football
man.
Just reminding him of his dead friend. And they're like, hey, remember hitting? Look at it.
And did he react?
No, I kept looking at him, hoping he would look up and be like, oh, you like football? Like, I don't know what he was going to do. Like, hey, we switch seats. We can talk about football.
It's probably so rare that he encounters a football fan.
Yeah.
It's such a niche audience, you know?
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
It's humiliating, right? When you look
Yeah.
back at this, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
I wonder.
Jonesing for that hang.
I'm jonesing for that hang. It's one of the worst texts I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Back to that one.
Because that hang, as in like that, I'm jonesing for that hang.
Yeah.
And then he's like, ugh.
Yeah, that is, boy, now that I look
Who'd
back.
want to be friends with the guy that wrote, I'm Jones? I have to
Jonesing
think,
for that hang.
would I want to talk to a person who sent me this?
Right.
Let's say
think
you met
about
an open micer and you said, and he wrote to you, I'm jonesing for that hang. You'd be like, oh no.
That's why I liked hanging out with comedians
fool.
because, comedians, their brains work differently from normal people that would write something like, I'm jonesing for
Yeah,
that
like
hang.
he knows you admire him. He knows he's an icon. Like he's not above saying, all right, yeah, the guy's a fan of my stuff. Of course, he's Seinfeld. But then there's a point where it's got to be like, yeah, we're just two comics. Like you like Robert Klein, I like Carlin, you like Pryor. Like you're just having a real conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I think jonesing for that hang might be worse than, hey, Nick, you ever notice when, like, you're lighting a set that...
Jonesing for that hang is worse than anything I've ever done in my life.
Oh, you brought a photo.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I should be executed for that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, there are memories that Jim is trying to erase out of his head that he only remembers parts of that are actually better than...
Because bringing that photo, I acknowledge to myself, this is a one and done.
Right.
I won't,
Yeah. But Seinfeld's a comic, so there could be another night.
Right.
Yeah, you could Joan...
I think you're fine. That's a bad text, but I think you're fine. I think we should do, as soon as we're done here, text him and be like, sorry about that jonesing.
Maybe.
Text. I think that'll get you
The
back
guys
in.
on the air thought it was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
We just talked about you for an hour and a half, and we decided that was a stupid text.
Yeah. I did a Horace and Pete with Louis.
Yes.
And Alan Alda was the bartender.
Oh, that's right.
And I was a bar drunk.
Yeah.
And he called me a cocksucking faggot.
Really?
Offset.
Yeah, exactly. You used your proper name.
But it was fun. I'm like, wow, I'm getting yelled at by Alan Alda. It was a great little moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people. But I finally got to interview him once, and But when you look up to somebody like that and you love them so much, it's so much more important when you meet them. It means so much. You're like, how can I? That's what you got to realize. Give up on the idea of making the relationship more than it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're right.
Yes,
but I know it's really hard
because you want it so bad.
Like when I was stupid Ozzie, I texted it once or twice. Like I don't ever text him. I mean, maybe 5 or 4 times in 2 years. Like I just don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's the way you have to do it.
But seeing that name pop up is
but if you have a real relationship,
feeling.
so what? Just put Jerry Seinfeld for me, and I'll text you.
That's not bad. It's just a weird dick pic. Why is he sending me this tranny?
You're able to handle yourself a little bit better in these celebrity situations, Joe List?
I mean, I don't have anyone like Jerry.
Well, you and Louie are actually buddies.
Well, we've gotten close now, but yeah, I definitely.
So
went
you don't end
through
up
that a little
jonesing
bit.
for those hangs anymore because you get to hang.
Well, that was easy. The Louis thing was easier because we went on tour, so we got to know each other on tour. We were in a plane together. Yeah, so it's a lot easier. And then after that, then you're like, all right, we can text or whatever.
Right.
But it's definitely easier. Yeah. Hopefully, it'll take you on tour.
Plus,
That would
Louis
be
probably more comfortable just because he's more relatable because he's even though he's huge, he's closer to our level because we watched him go from Seinfeld was famous before I did comedy.
But did you ever after the tour? Did you a month later or anything? Did you hit him up and say, "Hey, LMK, when it's time to tour again, bud"?
No, I never had any. I feel like we got
missing
close.
those private jets, bud.
But I feel like we're more similar than. You and Jerry.
Yes, I feel like a degenerate.
You're saying that the Jerry Seinfeld Mark Norman relationship is slightly doomed anyway.
I'm not saying it's doomed. I think it's good. I think you're in a good spot. But I think Louis just easier.
Yeah, did you want to buy a black and white camera and take photos and then say, "Can I leave this in your cabinet?"
Yeah, no. No, I'm trying to think if there were moments like that, but
just loudly go. Isn't film better than digital, guys? Anybody else agree with me?
But there are moments that we have to be like, because they understand that you admire them.
Yeah.
So there are moments where you have to be like, yeah, well, you're like that's happened before with Louis, where we're talking our favorite comedians or greatest comedian. We're talking the Colin Pryor thing.
Yeah.
And I have to be like, and you are number one. It's like this weird thing.
Yeah.
But you're like, you got to be yourself. I think the key is to be yourself.
It's really
right. They can see through it. If you think Louis is, and you just don't mention him, he's like, I know what you're thinking.
How about when we were on the plane? Mark and I had a fun moment with him. We were on the plane together, the three of us, and we were talking about Louis' specials. We started talking. And we were talking about one of the specials, the one in Arizona. Oh, my God, I think. He goes, I guess that was probably my worst one. And both of us are like, what? That one's amazing. We started doing bits. There's this bit and that bit. That bit, that's amazing. He goes, shit, maybe you're right. Maybe the Comedy Store is my worst one. And we were both dead silent. It was so awkward. It was one of those things where you're like, somebody say something.
Yeah.
We both just slowly looked out the window. We were like, all right, well, you have your answer on that one.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. We couldn't even think of one bit. We were like, there's that one.
Yeah.
Is that a bad? I didn't see the special.
Easily his worst.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not great. I think that one, it's like...
When was that one from?
He's not... No, he doesn't hear this.
That was the last one before he got fucked.
Right.
No, 2017.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That was the one on the tour. But I think
true.
what happened, he put that one out real kind of quick, and I think he wasn't thrilled with it, and then he did the 2017. He's like, I'm going to tour for 2 years on this and really take my time.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
It was great, Spesh.
Hey, Mike in Canada actually wants to contribute to your Nicolas Cage story, Jim.
Yep.
Feels like you may have forgotten a couple of details.
Yeah, maybe I did.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, guys. Hey, Jimmy, you're forgetting the douchiest part of your Nicolas Cage bit where you open your laptop so he can see the picture of you and Mike Tyson on your screensaver.
Oh, way to leave that out, Jones.
I don't remember. I maybe you're right. I have no memory
in your
of that.
head, you're like, if he sees a picture with me and Mike Tyson, he's going to know I'm legit. But in reality, he's going to see a photo of Mike Tyson as your desktop, and he's like, it's just a fucking
maybe you're right. Oh yeah,
fanboy.
that's bad.
Who has a picture with Mike Tyson?
If that's true, I believe
background?
you. It certainly doesn't sound like it wouldn't be me.
If he knows I'm friends with the rapist, I think he'll like me a little bit more.
Yeah, but you're not friends. Like your desktop background is not if it's Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you're friends with him.
That's not how you treat a friend.
No.
I don't have a picture of me and Sam or me and Travis. It's, you do that with famous people you admire.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with these leaps of faith, like the magazine with the dead guy or Mike Tyson photo.
What magazine with it? Oh, yeah, okay.
Joe's. It could work. And if it works, people go, that's fucking great.
When could it work?
That could work. That could totally work.
On a plane.
Maybe not the dead guy magazine,
No.
but the Mike Tyson thing could work. Like, oh, you know Mike Tyson? And then you go...
But you don't
But
clearly.
he's an Oscar-winning. He's Nicolas Cage. He's Coppola's nephew. Like, he's not going to be impressed with anybody.
You think Nicolas Cage has had the opportunity to meet Mike Tyson?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I would say
literally.
yes.
Nicolas Cage knows everybody.
I know, but he might
He's going to
be-
lean over. Did you get the chance to do a photo op with Mike
Oh,
Tyson? That's
you're a
incredible.
peer. I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
I've seen
and-
the picture of you and a celebrity.
You know, it's funny you noticed because I was going to ask you about lighting, Nicolas Cage, because I'm also in show business myself.
I'm just saying he could be a huge boxing nut, you know?
Right. It could work
It
also
could
if you
work.
asked Jerry Seinfeld to park a Porsche that you just bought to impress him in his garage. It could work.
I'll throw it out there.
Did
Don't
you-
have to buy a Porsche.
Did you ask your girlfriend what she thought of the Porsche idea?
No, she's out. I don't run anything by her.
Is you're broken up?
No, I just
Oh.
don't. I don't want to hear any advice.
I see.
I just want to try to make this work on my own.
Now, Scott in Philly. I don't know how true this is.
Okay, what's going on, Scott?
Hey, so one time at my gym, all of a sudden I see Jim Norton walk in. I got so excited, big fan of O&A. And I was like, hey,
that's
little
nice.
Jimmy Norton. And we talked a little bit, and then, he had to go work out. He had Kenny with him and stuff, and he's working out. And I'm thinking, you know what? I need to get a picture with him. He gets pictures with celebrities all the time. Surely he'll be open to that. I'm kind of looking over at him. He's looking over at me like, who's this weirdo looking at me? And I go to get a picture from him. He throws the hood up on his hoodie.
Ooh.
Like, don't mess with me.
Ooh,
Like-
Hollywood Norton.
But you
like,
didn't. I guarantee you didn't ask me for. You're probably looking at two. You're misreading something because there's no way. I guarantee you did not ask me for a photo, and I did that and ignored you. 100% that didn't happen.
No, you didn't. But I just felt bad. I just didn't want to.
But you didn't have to feel bad. I talked to you.
were working out.
But I would have easily taken a photo with you.
It's our own insecurities.
Yeah, like I would never say no, especially again unless I was running. I can't think of a time I've ever said no. But yeah, you should have asked me, Scott. I would have taken it.
Okay.
Thank you,
And was
Scott.
I nice when I talked to you in the
Thanks,
gym when I bumped into you? We talked.
Yeah. We chatted just a little bit. Like I said, I knew you had to go work out and stuff. I didn't want to bug you while you.
Sounds like a great interaction.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Mark,
Scott.
you've come in here before and said that you thought for the longest time that Jim didn't like you.
That's true.
Yeah, and I realized that too. That people think I didn't like them. It's my own dislike of myself, like my own. Like nobody wants to talk to me. I'm bothering people. I'm going to get the fight. I have nothing to say. They're not getting interested. That's all it is. That's self-loathing shit. You're like,
I get it.
Meanwhile, Mark was trying to figure out what kind of car you drive so he could buy one too.
yeah, Saturn. Park your finger in my asshole.
We should take a break. Of course, Joe List and Mark Norman do Tuesdays with Stories. It's available on iTunes, the podcast.